Alrighty, y'all. Today we're going to talk about terpenes, one in particular called B-Caryophyllene. Now, terpenes are pretty powerful plant molecules. They're in things like your food. They're also in tons of herbs, and if you can tell by the screen username I have, they're in one particular herb that I like to talk about. I also refer to it as a plant that rhymes with cannabis. Now, the cannabis plant has tons of different terpenes, but when we're talking about beta-caryophyllene specifically, when you're looking at a strain that's had a higher percentage in that, most people might come up with, oh, it helps me a little bit with my pain levels. But there's some other juicy characteristics that it tends to yield that a lot of times people don't even hear about. So beta-caryophyllene can be extremely helpful for things like addiction, obsessive compulsive disorder, and anxiety, which usually are all linked together in the first place. Now, even though this terpene doesn't magically erase addiction away, which most things won't, it can still be super helpful in the day-to-day triggers and things that typically tend to poke these things up to the surface. But how does it work on things like OCD and anxiety and addictive thoughts? So let's take a look at the brain here, right? This is the limbic system. When you smell things or when it's going through your respiratory system, it's going to go up to this area and hit that little pea-sized gland called the amygdala, which triggers a lot of the rest of the highlighted areas here. Now, this green area specifically likes to handle a lot with OCD. Beta-caryophyllene, when it's in your strains going into your system, it's going in here and specifically calming down the inflammation in regards to that. Now, when you're thinking of beta-caryophyllene, think spice. A lot of times it's in other types of herbs such as black pepper and cloves and things like this that typically tend to give your food or your essence of life just quite a bit more spice. So if you don't have any information on the strains right in front of you, but you find that it's got an essence of like spiciness and it helps you kind of calm down a little bit more, might be higher beta-caryophyllene. Helpful side note of this particular terpene, especially if you find it in the form of black pepper essential oil, that has been incredibly helpful to help people get off of nicotine. So if you or anyone around you is trying to put down the vape, the cigarettes, or what other type of tobacco or nicotine product that you guys are using, that can be kind of like a night and day lifesaver. But let's go back to the topic of cannabis strains for a minute. So numbers when you're looking around at lab reports or things when you're shopping in different shops, usually a lot of times a good percentage is about 0.5%, so 0.5% or higher when it comes to beta-caryophyllene. The highest percentage I've ever seen really of beta-caryophyllene of something hitting our shelves has been about 1.5%, and then that's like spicy and it's stanky. Now, if you like this info and want to learn more, hit the like and follow button because there's lots more coming.